Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM, streaming live on the web at WLCNonline.com. Scott Kirby, Joe Ryan, Jake Johnston with you this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
It's Halloween. I'm glad to see you guys dressed up.
Yeah. What are you?
Yeah, what the hell's that mask you're wearing?
I'm Joe.
No, what?
I dressed up as Joe
I was
today.
going to say, you look good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Slim?
Don't scare the
Intelligent?
children.
Yeah.
Don't scare the children.
We are at Jake's Furnishings, and got a little rearranging going on here because he's selling stuff.
Wasn't rearranging. It was just selling stuff. I had to put
Selling
something.
Tell
in
you
the hole.
what, yeah.
What are we giving away today?
Everything outside.
Did you work
I
on
think.
that?
I did work on that.
Are we giving something away?
Everything outside?
I think what were we doing? Multiple choice questions.
This is your show here.
Just call in. We'll figure something out.
Stop by today, and everything outside the building is free.
Yeah, whatever you can fit in your truck. You
Exclude
get.
my truck.
If you can load it in your truck, you can have it.
That's right.
Nice job.
Fellas, we got some high school sports going on today. The girls varsity swimming and diving team, they're at the Central State 8 meet at 9 a.m. Girls and boys cross country, can't say that. Sectional is at 11.
I'll bet we bring it up again.
The boys cross country. They're in sectionals today. Do we have runners going?
Absolutely.
Who are
they? Will Tiffany's going. I know
Will?
that. Yep. Talked to him
Sophomore?
last night. He was eating some spaghetti. Get it
What was
down,
he
ready to
eating?
go.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Raising L right there.
Get some carbs in.
Yeah, good luck to those guys. We're looking to get next week some the golf coach on.
Yes, we're trying to get.
Like to get the volleyball girls on.
Yep.
They had a good season.
Maybe we'll have some terrific bass.
Yes.
That'd be.
Wow, that's terrific bass.
That's pretty funny.
That was loud.
That was loud, right at us.
That was good. We need to
good.
do that more
That was
often.
good.
Just plug something in.
We're losing one.
yeah,
Yes,
good
that's
luck
in
to those-
Bloomington. That's in Bloomington today.
Bloomington.
Yep. Will said he was going to pound some spaghetti tonight. He'll have the carbs ready to go.
Well, the running conditions are pretty green. We're grim right now.
Yeah, they're not good.
You know, usually you're running, it is cross country. You're not in the gym or you're not on a track. So it's probably going to be muddy and sloppy.
Yes, muddy and sloppy. I don't know what happened there. I missed a little bit of that. But that's a rough terrain for you to be involved in.
A rough
little bit of
terrain.
rain. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Good job there. High school football playoffs. Some games were last night. Majority of them are today. Over in 3A, just some kind of local teams that people might be interested in. 3A, number 13 Williamsville with a 5-4 record. They're at Paxton, 8-1. That's today at 1. 4A, I didn't realize Clinton was 4A.
Yep.
They're that big.
Yeah. I'm not sure, but I think some things changed over the years. Some smaller schools.
Smaller schools kind of. Okay, well, they're 4A. They had a good year. They're 5-4. They're going to Belleville, Althoff.
They're going to have problems.
So that's going to be pretty rough. They're 9-0 with the number 1 seed. Not only do you have a probably 2.5-hour drive, I would say.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game for them to win.
Shaner played those guys this year and told me that he thinks they have 4 or 5 Division I signees on that team.
Wow.
They're going to be good.
We got number 13 Alton Marquette. They're at Rochester today. Rochester with the number 4 seed in 4A. Is that
amazing?
Does that shock you?
Yes. When you play the schedule Rochester does and you beat all of those teams except for the number 1 ranked 6A returning state champion, and they drop you to 4A. That's somebody that I have to say that's somebody in the IHSA that's picking on you.
Well, that's just a little more motivation for Rochester.
Yeah,
that's just what do they say?
Don't think they're
poking
not. Don't think that's not some locker room paraphernalia.
That's some billboard material right there. So that today is at 1:30.
And I will say this: I hope they win another one. They're well coached. I hope they go get another.
Yeah, I do too.
Good guy.
Taylorville, Mount Zion. They played last night. Taylorville 10-0. They win over Mount Zion 36-14. Taylorville obviously used to be in the Central State 8. They moved over to the Apollo. Go 9-0 regular season. They win their first playoff game. 10-0 on the season.
I talked to Jeb last night after the game, and he said that they had a quarterback change. Mount Zion did. They took their midway through the season, or 3 games into the season, they moved their wide receiver to starting quarterback, and I guess ever since then they've been running up some scores. He's had high numbers. Pretty good football team. They just went over there, and they were down for a while. I think they were down 14-3 or something in the second quarter and made a nice run back, and hats off to Taylorville.
Absolutely.
Go get them, Tornadoes.
Go get them, Tornadoes. 5A, moving on to 5A, number 13, Jacksonville, with a 6-3 record. They're going to Champaign Central, 8-1. They're the number 4 seed. Any thoughts on Central? I know they usually have a decent basketball program. Don't really hear a whole lot of them in football.
Yeah, they'll be good. To tell you the truth, I think Jacksonville's a good football team. They're big up front. They got a quarterback, Brandon, 6'4", can throw the ball. They have a tough running backs. They have 2 kids that can run the ball well. I think Jacksonville can win that football game. Not take anything away from Champaign, but I think they can. They're a good team.
Number 12, Decatur Eisenhower, 6-3 at number 5 Highland, 8-1.
Well, Eisenhower, they had a good season this year, but Highland usually is pretty tough. They had to run into Griffin for years, and they would always get beat. But now that you don't have to play Griffin, Highland's a pretty good football team. So Eisenhower's probably in trouble there.
And moving on to 6A, SHG, they played Palos Heights last night, 53-6. So looks like Sacred Heart Griffin with a good start. I'm assuming they are their number 1. Are they the number 1 in 6A?
I believe they got the 2 seed. I think
2 seed?
They put
probably one of the Chicago teams up there. Montini.
Montini. I was going to say I believe they put Montini number 1 up there. Is that right?
It could be.
I don't have that from me.
Lloyd says yes. So that's kind of your local playoff picture. A lot of the games going on today. A sloppy mess that could, play in the hands of some, the teams that are more of a run versus pass. Does that affect Rochester any today with this weather, or?
I think that it does tell a defense. That'll affect Jacksonville a little bit, but it does. It'll make a defense think that they can get 8 up in the box because you're going to have to run. Yeah. But don't they'll take those short dinks and the little dinks across.
Right, and
that run bubble screen.
It puts a little more pressure on those corners. With the footing. You get a step on that corner. You run a little slant, the corner slips, gone. So,
it does change the game, though. Yeah, boy,
it does. Hey, look who's back.
Hold on, kid.
You up there selling stuff or what?
Yeah, Customer.
You're not even open yet, and you're selling stuff. That's pretty good.
We're here for the customer.
This place runs itself.
It does run itself. We question what he does all the time.
I do wish it did.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on these games we just mentioned?
Well, you got to see. From my point of view, they're going to have to run the ball unless they pass the ball. And if they pass the ball, they're going to want to make sure the other team doesn't pick the ball off. And it's all about clock control.
And you're heading over Tri-Valley today. They have a playoff game.
You don't have a big playoff game today?
Against who?
Are you going to that playoff game?
I will be at the playoff game.
You will be.
Really?
Yes. He's all dressed. He's got
my buddy coaches for the other team that's
Tri-Valley's ranked number 1.
Tri-Valley's good.
And they are good. Their average victory, I think, was 50 points this year, or 51 points. Was their average margin of victory. They allowed 6 points per game. I think maybe twice this year they gave up more than 6.
They run the option.
You know what they say.
Believe it or not, you watch them, and I, like I said, anybody could call in here right now, including a 4-year-old child, and probably know more about football than I do. It's just my opinion.
Our number again, 737.
Yeah. But
Mom and Dad, can you please dial it for the kids?
Tri-Valley runs just a very small package of offensive plays that I know. So they come out a lot of the same sets.
What kind of formation they run?
I have no clue. but what I know
He's
is
there to socialize.
I watch those games with some intensity, but they run them to perfection. I mean, they come out of it with different plays and whatnot, and then all of a sudden they'll throw in a pass. I mean, they run a lot of runs, lot of play action, and all of a sudden there's a pass, and it goes for 30, 40 yards every time they run it. It's just, they only use it like 3-4 times a game.
I believe he's running a true option, and they'll run it midline up the middle of the field, or he'll come outside with it, and his son is
His son,
The coach's son.
The coach's son's
is quarterback.
quarterback, and he's
And they have
quick.
a stud.
And how many games have
running
you
back,
been
too.
to? How many games you been to?
Hey,
0.
I have-
and he knows what they
There's
run.
a thing called the
internet.
internet
Oh, internet.
that somebody invented. I'm not sure if they were from Lincoln or not.
And they tweet.
His name,
I don't know why they
William
tweet,
But I
Internet.
pay a little bit of attention to stuff. And my buddy coaches at the
Seth Bass.
at the other school.
Oh, right there.
Wow, that's terrific bass.
That's what I was looking for.
On cue. That's funny.
He's just itching. He's ready. He's got that. He's ready.
Trigger finger. So I know a little bit about them. Yeah, but Tri-Valley is very good. Very good.
They are very good. Very well coached this year. I mean, the kids.
They're going to have
Kids respond.
The kids respond well to the coaching.
and that's not hard on the kids.
No, it's not hard on the kids. Then they'll win a lot of
spot it.
games. They'll win a lot of games that way.
All right,
That's exactly
fellas.
right.
They're not the biggest team either.
You don't have to be.
They tackle really well. Their defense is great. So
All right, guys.
Why don't
let's,
you bring us back some Tri-Valley
some
sweatshirts
gear.
or
Yeah,
something?
some
Yeah, I mean,
hats.
sounds like you're all in.
Yeah, he's got the foam finger, cheering.
Hey, is there any way that you could
How
take
do you
some
raise
pictures of
heat?
yourself in the crowd
Raise
and
the
send them to us?
That's
taking some selfies. posting on
speaking
cheat
of
sheets.
raising tea. Let's take a time out. But before we do, Unite to Fight Colon Cancer presents the Dave Hudson Senior Benefit. Come out and join us at the Eagles Lodge in Lincoln on Saturday, November 7th for a day of fun for the entire family. The event starts at 3 p.m. and continues until 11 with special events including a huge chili cook-off, bake sale, cakewalk, giant live and silent auction, face painting, and henna tattoos. I don't know what that means. What's a henna tattoo, Lloyd?
Facebook us if you know.
Do you have one? Henna. Okay.
You can't trust him.
What's a henna tattoo,
You
Lloyd?
can't trust him.
You got a henna tattoo, don't you?
Did he say it's like headlights?
I don't
something
know
like that.
what he said.
They're also going to have a 50-50 raffle and live music jam session hosted by Lincoln's Hindsight Band. Follow us on Facebook at the Dave Hudson Senior Benefit and make sure you clear your calendar for this Saturday, December 7th. Because, now wait a minute.
Wait a
Up here it
second.
says November 7th, and here it says December 7th.
Well, I'll tell you
Let's
what.
clear them both
We're going to go to a commercial.
Which one is it, Jim?
from month to month.
Well, forget it. Let's go to break.
Confused? Look at this. That. That's a little scary. That's pretty good right there.
Good
that-
morning.
And he was giving some special effects to that, wasn't he?
You know, I've been watching Halloween all week, man. Halloween, Friday the 13th.
Who has time for that?
This guy.
All right. Must make a lot of money.
Well, baseball's over, so I might as well watch some scary.
Mets got back in it last
They
night.
did. Good morning. Welcome back to Cheap Seats here at Jake's, the Jake's Furnishings. We got Austin Swarts and, whoa, wow.
Whoa.
Hello.
Yes, we do.
And TJ Swarts in with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
Good. All right.
Wake up.
He's awake.
Hey, we're going to make you talk today. We're going to pull some teeth, and you're going to talk.
Get this guy some coffee. A Red Bull, Monster. What's your preference?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew?
You drink,
Water.
You drink coffee yet or not?
No.
Stay away from it.
Should, man. Right
bad
before
for you.
match, pound of Red Bull, man, you'd be all over the place.
Yeah, for about 3 minutes, and then well, maybe all it takes.
That's all it takes. Austin, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the past. Well, when's the last time you were on? About was it a year ago or 2 years ago we had you on
Been a
here?
little over 2 years.
About 2 years. So you still been doing the same thing, traveling all over the place. MMA, what is it? Submission fights. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and a little bit about yourself, or a lot about yourself.
Yeah, we've been going around to places like Springfield and St. Louis and Chicago and Pittsburgh.
I'm going to jump in and help you because I got some reading here from your dad. This says you've been to Pittsburgh, Detroit, Nashville, Indianapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, Memphis, Houston, Las Vegas, and Minneapolis, and a few other places.
Stop right there. Now,
Yeah.
I think the Pittsburgh one was probably not just for fighting, was it? Because I know you guys are big Steeler fans.
Yeah, that one.
So was that one just thrown in there, TJ? Kind of
It worked
hey,
out good.
let's do this one.
It worked out good.
Yeah.
We did a lot of sightseeing.
Who'd you see him play? Did you see him play?
No, it was during the summer.
Oh.
So we went and saw all the stadiums and museums and restaurants.
Well, that's a lot of places
a good
to
time.
go. So now go ahead with your story. That's a lot of places you've been to.
Yeah, Pittsburgh was pretty nice. It was one of the nicer cities we went to. Really, it was really pretty. It's a lot of bridges.
A lot of bridges.
And you like the Steelers. That helped.
Yeah, that does
Was it
help.
Heinz Field? So did you get to take a tour of that, or?
We well, I don't think we went in legally, but we got to see.
Hey, hold. Let's go to
Whoa.
commercial.
They might be listening to us in Pittsburgh, so you got to watch what you say.
Right.
Big Ben is a big fan of the show.
Did you guys sneak in?
They were actually doing some construction while we were there, so the gate part were open. We just went and looked around the field a little bit.
Oh, that's harmless.
It was pretty good.
Harmless. Did you guys have like security vests on and hard hats and stuff? And there were two guys tied up behind a hallway. And, you know what I mean? Was it like that, or
No,
You do-
just wondered.
a couple of tough guys going over there? You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, go ahead. I jumped in there, but I wanted to know those. The cities I thought was fascinating. You went to all those places in what amount of time?
That's over the last
Yeah.
year and a half. So,
Wow. So this is a cheap sport.
Yes.
Very inexpensive.
Not a lot of equipment, but a lot of
A
travel.
lot of traveling and practices. And is there a club that you practice with
Yeah.
around here?
It's in Springfield. Atlas is the gym that I train at. It's led by Jake, and he teaches jiu-jitsu, and there are other classes there like CrossFit.
Jake
and-
Bell.
Jake Bell, yeah.
I got to ask you about the beginning. I want to go back up because his father said that you're very quiet, which we all know. But he said that you're like a racehorse because once you get on the mat, then you're rolling and ready to go.
He is quiet.
I know. So when did you first think that you really liked this stuff? At what age?
Well, I've been wrestling since first grade, and that was kind of an easy transition. We got into it around, I was in 8th grade probably, and Scott Ward, who was the previous owner of the building that Jake's now in, he started a kids youth MMA program, and I got into that.
Now that I ask you this, I got to pause here a minute. Is it Scott Ward that used to teach Yoshikai karate?
That's correct.
Really?
Originally, and then went into the straight mixed martial arts area and all that, and was inducted into the MMA Hall of Fame about a year
Is it
and a half
really?
ago, and then just retired this spring.
And he lives in Springfield?
Yes.
Yeah, Scott Ward. I took karate from him a long time ago.
Well, let's
I
see
don't
some
remember.
moves.
I'll
Get
do,
up, let's
I'll do
see
a
'em.
kata here, 27 movements or basic movements or something for here in a little bit.
Okay.
We'll film that later. But yeah, he was a tough dude. I didn't realize that he had moved on over into MMA stuff. But he's a real good guy, so that'd be a good guy to learn from, huh?
He's a
nice
good guy.
He's one of the best mixed martial arts fighters I ever knew.
Yeah, he's good. He's
Really
good. And then it says in here your favorites are Matt Hughes, Johnny Hendricks, and Brock Lesnar. Yeah, have you met Matt yet or not?
I think Dad was talking then, but
Oh,
that's his
Oh,
favorites.
that's his favorites. Well, those are old school.
they're not your
There's
favorites?
probably some. Well, those are old school guys. I mean, he's probably got the.
Well, I like Jimi Hendrix and Brock Lesnar, but
How about the Irish guy that's crazy? Who's
McGregor?
McGregor. You like him? He's kind of a scrappy guy, isn't he? And
he's kind of interesting to watch.
yeah.
I would think there'd be Matt Hughes sightings this weekend with that Lincoln College Hall of Fame banquet going on. Rex Brannon would be
Well,
back.
maybe if our guest getter would make a few phone
I'll tell you
calls, we
what,
could have
let's
had him
just
on
see
the
if we
show.
can have him on. We'll bring Rex Branham on. We'll have it all on here. You may want to come back out. We may spread an area out for you to get involved
And
in.
we'll put a mat out here, and you can show us your karate moves.
I'm more the radio guy. I will
Oh,
tell him what's going on.
so Austin, a senior in high school,
Yeah,
correct?
this year.
You got wrestling starting up in a week or two, and you got one more match coming up. What's a day consist of for you as far as training? I mean, this is a grueling sport, and you got to be on top of your game. Do you train every day? What's a typical day for you?
Well, I train Monday, Tuesday, Friday, usually. Sometimes school interferes, but I try to
Hey, yeah.
try to get there
Priorities.
as much as I can.
Yeah.
And well, as far as a day, most of it's just school, and then after I get home from school, I get ready for practice and go to practice, and then I go home and sleep.
Now,
Play some video games?
A little bit in there.
Well, yeah, you got to have some downtime. Now, we talked earlier, well, a couple years ago, there's only a certain amount of classes in these events. So are you kind of the lighter weight, or how's that work?
I weigh 130 pounds, which is on the lighter side of the spectrum, yeah.
So is that kind of the lower class?
It is. It's actually caused probably a problem's not the right issue, but it's created some creativity when it comes to his classes. Memphis sticks out specifically. There was nobody in his ability and weight anywhere near the teenage group. So he competed in the Adult Masters Open tournament there and won that tournament also. So he was going against 30-year-old men, and so we just kind of fitted some.
Did you ever win against a 55-year-old man? Because I want to see it.
It's 50.
50. I'm sorry.
55.
Now,
hold on.
correct.
While you're there, it says 10 submission championships in 3 years.
Yes.
10 championships. It's a pretty big deal.
You didn't bring any hardware?
No.
Last time you brought a
Yeah, we had a sword.
I
could have.
You got a belt?
No.
Most of them have been doing like the gold medals and stuff is what they do for their awards. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but are you ranked 5th in the nation in your class?
that's correct.
For
Before, and that's been probably a month ago. The ratings they lag behind as they go through, waiting for the tournaments to get inputted as they go. So
now, see, you don't know this, but I'm a Facebook stalker. That's how I find all this stuff out. I go to your dad's page, and luckily he posts stuff of what you're doing, and that's how, social media these days is phenomenal. I don't know what people did 10, 15 years ago, Jim. What'd you do?
Black and white television. You've seen his phone. He just updated it.
Yeah, I know. What else you got on that piece of paper?
Well, about the 10 championships, and then to tell us a little bit about what you do. It's all submission, so there's no punches or kicks, but you're going to work your way into that, correct?
Yeah, I've been thinking about amateur fighting. I can't do it until I'm 18, which will be February of next year, so February 4th.
And your dad feels how about that?
He wants me to do it.
if he wants, if he's ready, he's got my full support. So we'll make sure he's ready before. He's actually done a exhibition submission a few years ago inside the cage. So those butterflies are gone.
I was just going to say, I think I'd have some butterflies when you popped inside that cage with the one other guy. Was this guy good?
Yeah, we're about the same in skill. I think we ended up we each submitted each other once.
So when you crawled inside that cage, did you have some butterflies? It wasn't like walking in here in a furniture store.
It was a little scary. Yeah.
So what's your move? What's your signature move? If you got a guy on the ground, why is he tapping out? What are you gonna do to him?
I like the triangle, but I hit a lot of different stuff.
Just what opportunities there, so all.
A lot of mixed martial arts is just flowing and having your options out, and if you're in a position, you can hit so many moves, and if he's defending something, you go to something else, and you can't always do what you want. So.
You spar with your dad a lot?
Not anymore.
Nah.
It says here that you got a pretty good arm bar.
Yeah, I do.
Did you ever show it to your dad, or you want to demonstrate one on your dad?
I did a triangle on him and tore his rotator cuff.
Now Dad's done.
He's proud of that one.
You got to smile at him.
Look at him.
Yeah.
A little chuckle out of that. Taking care of Dad. It says that you've never really been seriously hurt in this.
Never been injured in wrestling or mixed martial arts.
The worst part is practice is worse than the actual event. Yeah, because you can take a beating in there. So does it help you to go against someone that's like heavier or quicker? Does that help you when you actually go to?
Well, it depends on how heavy you're talking about. If it's like somebody twice my weight and they're just crushing me the entire time.
Yeah, someone around 160 or so.
Yeah, it's better for.
If it's not on the paper, we'd rather you just not ask questions.
I've got a lot of things here. What helps you the most? Somebody that's strong, somebody that's quick,
somebody that knows what they're doing.
Wears you a little bit. Yeah. Their knowledge, then. What's helps you the most? Wrestling background.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. Wrestling and mixed martial arts just really you see in UFC, the wrestlers are the people who are dominant. Besides that one karate guy, who's
Machida,
the dragon. Yeah, he was like the only non-wrestler to win the championship in such a long time. It was really weird.
There's obviously different rules from submission fighting and wrestling. How do you distinguish between the two? Because if you're on a mat,
you can't choke people in wrestling.
Well, right. If you're on a mat in wrestling, and I can't do that. How do you? You got to process that pretty quick, doesn't you?
It's usually not an issue. It's pretty easy to just switch. I can't do that, so I'll just do wrestling moves instead.
Now,
it'd be cool though.
When he first started training full time, we had a couple little bumps, and as we go through, you could kind of see the light bulb during the wrestling.
The problem
match
was just like going to my hip and going to my back and being comfortable with that, which is not okay in wrestling because you get pinned.
And you don't want to get pinned.
Yeah.
And there's no tapping out in wrestling, right? So.
Yeah, but there's a big deal about switching. Yeah, it's opposites. I've always thought about that. Lesnar seemed to make the move okay. I went to the NCAA championships when he won it. Whatever year that was a long time ago. But I think it was in St. Louis.
Coming out of Minnesota then when he was crushing everybody.
He was a big dude.
Now, have you been into any MMA fights? I know there's probably not. There's some.
St. Louis runs quite a bit, and then there's a lot of local
here.
ones. Decatur has some, and Springfield they'll put some on occasion. But we've been to quite a few, yeah.
When Scott Ward had his shows, we went to a lot of those.
That was over in Springfield.
Yeah, that was Springfield
at the
convention
state fair.
The state fair.
Now, are those kind of obviously lower talent? Are those basically the same as you would watch on TV? Like a UFC, or is there different rules?
No, same rules. And a lot of those guys that we've actually seen up there have come up through.
He had amateur and pro fights at his, I believe.
So that's something that do they still have those, or are they kind of?
There's a couple different groups that are still putting them on pretty regular, so we'll have some options.
So maybe in about a year or so, we'll see you over there and getting paid for it then, right?
Not for amateur fights.
Oh no.
Mm-mm.
No.
Dad will foot the bill. He doesn't care.
Right.
Now, most of the time, have you seen film, or what your opponent wants to do, or do you go in there blind a lot?
You can go in there blind.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So traveling to all these different places, you were seeing new opponents most every time.
Yes.
We see the same person occasionally, but it's usually new people.
Different styles.
And you don't know what they're good at when you take the ring.
No. And usually I forget what the other people did when I did fight them. So it's a new experience every time.
Do you feel like you do the same thing a lot? Do you feel like you want to get to a certain thing? Or are you looking for a certain thing every time you get there to see if you can do this?
A win.
Well, a W, obviously. Let's be like you going to Bonanza. You're not going over to the healthy tray. You're going right over there to where you can beef up.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Going straight to the ice cream machine.
Look at him.
You don't eat dessert first?
This guy should work at a Dairy Queen. You know what I'm saying? No, but you have a special thing you look for all the time. If you can you feel him out and know in a couple minutes, hey, I bet I could do this. I bet I could try that, or no? Just kind of.
It's usually opportunities present themselves whenever you feel somebody out and know what they're going to do after the first few minutes.
And then tell us about a fight. How long they last? What's the rounds?
It depends on the tournament, actually, because some have different rules. The submission fighting challenge has like 22-minute matches. If you go the entire way for double overtime and all that fun stuff.
That's a long time.
I've done one of those, and it was not very fun.
And they don't do rounds. There's no breaks in water.
It's 22 straight minutes.
They'll go through a full 10 to 12 minutes for the first one, and then if nobody gets, there's no points whatsoever, there's no judges in that one, it's only submissions. So if they're still tied, then they'll go right into overtime, and they both get opportunities in overtime where they'll put them in different positions to start out, see who can escape each other's hold, and then they flip that, and they have to do it again, letting the other guy go, and yes, they just go straight through until somebody submits. And he had one last year, that the first time with that company down in St. Louis, and it went right at 20 minutes for the entire match.
That's a long time.
Stood up and I was shaking.
Yeah, it has to slow down, doesn't it slow down as you go along?
There's no timeouts.
No timeouts.
No timeouts.
That's good stuff.
So what do you got planned for the future? obviously you want to get in maybe some of the MMA, college, wrestling in college. Do you know?
Well, after wrestling season, college definitely. Yeah. Wrestling in college, probably not.
No?
Because I want to focus on college and do good in college.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Good answer.
That was a good answer.
Dad
His
likes
dad's
that.
sitting right there. Look at him.
What do you want to do? Do you know, as a major? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to do chemistry.
Chemistry?
You're talking to a couple of guys who can't spell chemistry.
Yeah.
So we will be of no help. Well, no, there's 4 of us here that can't spell it.
Lloyd might be able to. He's Googling it.
He's
right
Googling right. Hey, so you want to give some shout outs to some people out there? You got some family sitting out there. Tell us some names. And they listening? Some of your fans? How about a girlfriend? That's right, no girlfriends.
I have time for that.
Yeah, ain't nobody had time for that. You want to give a shout out somebody?
I'm here. You don't have to look at me.
Shout out to Dad. He's being a trooper and listening, and fact checking my.
And drives you all over the
presentation.
country.
Yeah.
And
We'll give a plug out there for somebody. Where's your favorite place to go watch the Steelers?
Logan Lanes.
There you go. See,
there you
Sean
go.
Taylor.
Speaking of Logan Lanes.
there you go. See how I led that in?
Do you like the bowl?
No, I don't. He does like the bowl though.
Okay. Well, here's a couple of good for one free game. We usually give those out for questions, but nobody calls in. So if we have a guest, we'll give it to them. So enjoy those. Go out and watch your Steelers tomorrow. Bowl a couple games.
Who's going to
Golf.
quarterback the Steelers tomorrow?
Big Ben's back.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
he's been injured for a long time.
Yeah,
Big Ben is good.
he is good.
You don't have to like the Steelers, but Big Ben is
It
good.
was it was just a coincidence that Austin was at that game too. By the way, he didn't hurt Ben
Oh, yeah.
himself.
Oh,
You were at that game?
I was at that game. Yeah,
Oh.
Was
they
that
set the
St.
field
Louis?
on fire, and
yeah, there was a delay.
Ben got injured.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
nightmare.
We might have won that game, but it didn't feel like a victory.
Yeah, you lose your quarterback.
I'll tell you what, though, they hung around. You know,
did.
a lot
2
of
and
people
2
thought,
without him.
Yeah, they're all right. You got to say that.
With a quarterback I've never even heard of, Jones. Where'd he come from?
Yeah, Landry Jones coming out of college. and-
Oklahoma, wasn't he? Is that right?
Lloyd.
Loin?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
guys, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
anytime.
good luck to you.
And we're definitely going to have you on in the future when you get your MMA going, and we'll get back with that. And
We'll be right back in here for wrestling season.
maybe
too.
we're not always at Jake's, just so you know. We do go around, but every
I thought
time.
you guys just lived in here.
You could.
Well, he goes over to eat every once in a
Yeah.
while from the fast food restaurants,
I mean,
but
it's just
yeah.
a walk over there. Come back here. You can sleep wherever
Very comfy.
you want. Yeah, yeah. TVs, we got everything you want. Well, guys, thanks for stopping by. Good luck. We'll probably have you on again for wrestling. I know we bring some of the seniors in. We talked to your coach a few weeks ago. He's pretty excited. So ready to get fired up here in a week or two.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're
Thanks,
welcome,
TJ.
man. Thanks for coming in.
That's Austin and TJ
Thanks,
Swarts.
dude.
Senior at Lincoln Community High School, submission fighter, wrestling, and now he's going to go home and go back to bed.
And chemistry teacher later on.
All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk some NFL. We'll talk some NCAA football.
And we've got a mystery caller
we got
coming, a
mystery
special
caller,
guest.
So
Gonna
stay
talk to us.
tuned. You're in the Cheap Seats on 96.3. All right, welcome back to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM.
Jim bringing us in right there. He's bringing us in.
Bring us in
hardcore.
with some what?
Well, I wasn't going to tell our fans. It could be a quiz. Tell them
quiz?
somebody call in and win. They could tell us who.
Well, we already gave
what
our
band?
prize away.
Oh, we have tons of prizes. Tons of prize over here in the prize vault.
Okay, if you can call in and name that tune,
Name the band.
name the band, that
Name
song.
the band.
All right.
A little bit of confusion on our
We
end.
got a caller? Go ahead, caller. Who do we have here?
What is going on, boys?
Here we go. Hey, tell them who's calling in.
Well, this is
Tell our fans.
Is this Morgan Rose from Sevendust?
Absolutely.
All right. How
Morgan
you doing
Rose.
this morning?
I just got up and moving. I'm looking to get something in the gullet here that'll get me moving for the day, and then I'm going to have to stop by the local watering hole to play a little Keno before the game starts.
So where are you at? Vegas?
I'm in Hotlanta.
Hotlanta. That's the place to do. That's the place to be, Morgan.
And Bo tells us you're a big Georgia Tech fan,
I am.
and they got a game with Virginia today.
I'm sorry?
They play Virginia today?
Yeah, Virginia today. Big game last week. That's about the highlight of the year. We can go ahead and wrap it up now because it's been pretty disappointing.
Bo said that's the story you want to talk about. You want to talk about the big W last week.
And we do have Bo on air with us if you want to shout out to him.
That's my number one boom boom right there.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, bud.
You should see it. We'll get you a picture of Bo with his headset on. We told him
He fits right in.
he's got a face for radio.
Negative.
Me and Bo are we're the toxic twins when it comes to getting into those casinos.
Toxic twins.
It's all toxic.
Hey, tell us a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, too. How they doing this year?
Tampa Bay looked real good last week. Gotta like that loss.
Our cameraman, he's a big Tampa Bay fan, so he takes the brunt of it. So
It's painful, you know. It's painful. The only thing I always tell everybody is I got a ring. You know, I mean, I'm a diehard Buck fan. When they moved him out of the north and put him into the south with Atlanta, it made it real rough because, you know, I like to root for the Falcons until they got in the same division. So now they're rivals, but it's pretty tough being a Buck fan. I don't even know where to go with them. Their line is terrible. Now they're down to basically one receiver, and he started the year on IR. And you know, I don't foresee many good things happening to them. I went to the Monday night game. I guess it was last year when Atlanta was breaking records, blowing them out here, and I wouldn't doubt it if it gets to be similar tomorrow.
well, you got kind of a good nucleus down there in Tampa Bay. You got Doug Martin. He's healthy now. He's starting to, you know, play like he can. You get the number one pick in Jameis Winston, and like you said, Mike Evans is back. So you got something to build on. But like you said, that offensive line right now, you know, you got to protect Jameis, and they're just not getting the job done.
I mean, when you're drafted, this happened to Aikman, this happened to Manning. I wouldn't put Winston in that category with those guys, but, you know, those guys won a game or two their first year in with a terrible line, and that's the sacrifice. Every now and again, you know, you get lucky and somebody has a decent, you know, the weird part about it is when it's ironic how a team usually has to draft a quarterback number one because their offense is anemic, and then they come to realize that really it's anemic because they have no offensive line.
Right,
so they draft a guy that has no idea what he's doing in the NFL. He gets in there, they have the same anemic offensive line, and they get worse. So next, and then see what the kid's really got. I mean, he hasn't been an embarrassment.
No.
You know, but
At Florida State he was, but he's been okay out there.
Off the field.
He hasn't stolen any crabs lately, you know, so we're pretty good on that part.
I'm not sure I would have drafted him, but I'm not in charge of a football team.
Yeah, you are.
You were.
My fantasy team.
Raising hell. What are you talking about?
You play fantasy football, Morgan?
I mean, you have to know that as a Bucs fan and being I was one of those guys on the fence with Mariota and him, and then of course they just set it up perfect where they play the first week and Mariota just puts up like 900 yards with 11 touchdowns, and you're like, okay, this was a great decision.
Yeah, you had that pick. You play fantasy football, Morgan?
Yeah, I got like 5 teams.
You got a lot of
five,
free.
yeah.
Hey, do rock stars have a lot of free time?
What's that?
Do rock stars have a lot of free time?
I still can't hear you.
Joe's wanting to know if rock stars have a lot of free time. That's probably why I can't hear you. You got talking to this thing.
Well, when we're on the road, yeah, we have a lot of free time, and we have the NFL ticket on there. You know, I think next year I'm going to break it down to 2 teams because, you know, it gets to be a little ridiculous when I'm like bipolar watching the games. It's like 1 minute I want, you know, Evans to get a touchdown. The next minute I realize I'm playing him in another league and he can't get any yards. So
yeah, you're
I think
right.
I'm going to break it down to 2 teams and try to make sure that I don't draft any of the same people. You know,
it's hard to do.
The idea with fantasy for me is that it lets me watch a Bears Arizona game and care.
Right.
Whoa. Let's not start on the Arizona Cardinals. That's America's team, Morgan.
They're looking good.
I'm going to get you some Cardinal gear you can wear up there.
I'm okay with it. My little boy just got a little Cardinal gear courtesy of the bow over there.
All right.
You're an Arizona fan, too?
Yep.
He's baseball.
Oh.
No, he got an Arizona Cardinal jersey.
Oh, I'm going to get you some. I'm going to get you a
Larry
headband.
Fitzgerald jerseys.
Ooh, that's nice. Better keep that. He's a Hall of Famer. I'll get you an Arizona Cardinal, like a bandana thing you can wear for a while up there.
Joe will get you some license plates. You can support the Cardinals, too.
Get you some plates.
Well, Morgan, you're going to be in Illinois, next Friday? Peoria?
Yep.
You guys on
Shine Down and Breaking Ben, and I leave tomorrow, actually. So, you know, they got me home so I could do all this trick-or-treating stuff with the little ones, and then get me out of here tomorrow and start this tour, and then we'll be running into Peoria.
Now, do you have a rigorous tour schedule, or is it just kind of broken up a little bit where you're able to get back home, or when you hit the road, are you on the road?
Well, we did one leg already, and that lasted about a month, and then we're home for a week, and then we're going to go out for about 3.5 weeks. I get home the day before Thanksgiving, and then we're off until March. Then we go to Australia in March.
Oh, wow.
That'd be fun.
Bo, you going with
Oh,
me?
you going to that one?
No, he won't invite
I
me.
keep trying to get Bo to go with me.
Oh, well, hey, he's on. He's going with you.
Yeah, the wife might not agree with this.
They got casinos there. I know that.
I'm in.
He's in.
The casino will always get you.
That's right.
Oh,
Down.
man.
Down and out.
Yeah, down and then out. You're
We've had a few good nights, and we've had a few bad ones.
yeah, you got to hope that the good ones add up, make up for the bad ones.
Atlantic City, not a good place for us.
Atlantic City is off limits from now on.
That's funny. Well, you know, there's a boat in Peoria.
There is
I'm
a boat
sure
in
you know.
Peoria.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we do know that. And we go on nice and early, so I'm sure we'll be off stage at about 8:30 or 9, and by 9:15 we'll be over there. Hit me. Hit me.
Hit me.
Hit me.
Hit me. That's funny.
All right, Morgan. Well, thanks for calling in. Good luck on your tour. We'll be keeping track of you.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.
Go Bulldogs.
Yeah, hey, thanks for calling in. Yeah, we'll root for Georgia Tech. And do you have one? You got a win you can give us for the NFL this week? Just one? You got a pick for us? Is it Atlanta?
Let me take a quick peek and see what I got for you guys. I mean, if we're looking at playing lines.
Yeah, let's
What's
do
that? What's that?
If we're looking at playing lines.
And, you know, you're looking at the, I mean, unfortunately, I have to say that one of my picks would have, right now, it looks like Atlanta is a 7-point favorite against the Bucks. And, I mean, I don't know how much I trust that. That's one that I
kind of torn
that
there.
I do like.
Now he's thinking with his heart right there. That's an Atlanta game there.
Looks like Mr. Hake's looking for some
The
furniture.
Atlanta game is one. The other one that I do, it hits me kind of strange. I really don't care that Big Ben is coming back to Pittsburgh. I think that Cincinnati is a Super Bowl caliber team, and that's an even line.
The real deal, Cincinnati.
Yeah, they're the real deal. I mean, I know that it's in Pittsburgh. I know it's tough there. I know that Roethlisberger's coming back and everybody will be excited. But, you know, Cincinnati is Cincinnati right now.
How about Sunday night?
Dangerous team.
Sunday night we got what? The Packers at Denver.
Packers at Denver.
Packers at Denver. That's fun.
Packers at Denver is a scary game because the Packers are the Packers. They're another Super Bowl caliber team, and even though the Broncos are 6-0, everybody knows that they could have lost 3 games. So,
Is this Manning's
Packers
last year?
I'm sorry?
Is this Manning's last year?
I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah, he's not looking
He
real
doesn't
good.
really look good. He looks pretty bad, actually. They don't have a running. They said, it's great how they go into the season saying they're going to commit to the run, and now they have no running game.
Yeah.
They have the worst. They actually have the worst running team that they've had since he's been there.
That hurts. That makes him look worse.
It all comes down to your offensive line, too. They've been struggling as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at these lines, and there's a handful of them on here that are a little bit exciting. I mean, the Vikings at the Bears. I know that there's a lot of Bears fans up there, but the Bears just aren't real good.
And the Vikings are?
Thanks for that.
Hey, wait a minute.
And
You jammed right at 2 guys here.
But the Vikings are going to run on them.
Yes, they will. I will agree with that.
And they're probably going to pass on them too. And they're only a 1-point favorite, so I like Minnesota in that.
Well, come Sunday morning, they all start looking pretty good.
Another one, Seattle.
They all look
really
good till the games
good.
start.
And Dallas doesn't have a real quarterback, and they've got running problems over there too. Even though they got Des Bryant coming back, they've got me throwing to them. So Seattle as a 4.5-point favorite, I'm liking Seattle there too.
All right.
Did you write all these down?
Yeah,
We're keeping track.
there's a handful of them, man.
We're keeping track of them, Morgan. We're going to see how you do. All right, we'll have your totals for you next time we talk.
If we win a lot of money, you're going to have you back on next Saturdays to give us your other picks.
I mean, my lock pick is the Patriots over the Dolphins.
Yeah, we figured that.
yeah, that's a good one.
Lock it in.
Safe bet.
That's a safe bet.
All right, Morgan, thanks for calling, buddy, and we'll get a hold of you later.
We'll see you next week.
right,
We'll see you
We'll
Friday.
see you Friday night.
Friday night, we'll be there.
Peoria.
All right.
All right, boys.
Thanks, Morgan.
Have fun. Take care, guys.
Bye.
That's Morgan Rose, the drummer for Sevendust. Going to be in Peoria next Friday, rocking the Civic Center. It'll be a good time. You've seen him a lot in concert.
A few.
A few.
100.
Maybe 30, 40. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, just when he's in the area. I know he was in Springfield, a month or so ago? Did you go down to that one?
I went down to that one. It was, we totally missed out on he's calling me now.
Yeah.
We didn't see the Godsmack end of it, but it was a good time. I took my son Austin down to the show, and we went and had a little bite to eat after he got done playing.
Now,
watch.
he was in Lincoln Saturday watching your kid play football.
He was that the Sunday of the Godsmack show in Springfield in September.
Yeah. Sunday
we picked him up, and he wanted to come watch Austin play football, so he was out at Eaton Fields and
that's cool.
watched a little football game, and then we went back
to the concert.
He played his show, and on the road he went.
Yeah. So they leave that night, and they just went.
Yeah, he told me, he said that whole leg of the tour, they never had a night where they actually got a hotel room because they were constantly on the go. So, you sit on a bus for a month with the same group of guys.
Life of a rock star.
Not that good, he said.
It's not that good, he says. Well, from our viewpoint, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But, there's not a whole lot of, you talk about Sevendust, like, who's that? Well, you got to really like that music to,
appreciate it.
Yeah, and I've been listening to, that kind of music forever. I know you like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. So this is a little harder on your ears.
Well, what Joe likes about him is he's friends with the Van Halens.
Yeah, he's Van Halen's buddies.
Really?
Kiss, and you name it.
And he filled in for Tommy Lee years ago with Motley Crue when Tommy burned his hands up.
Yep.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, he showed us backstage from his phone. He filmed backstage Van Halen when they were taking the stage, and it was pretty neat, interesting. He's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Fun to watch. jump on YouTube and watch him play. The drums.
He's dynamic, man. He is fun to watch, and
my dad's a big George Jones type guy, and yeah, imagine that. And Morgan was in town a couple times and talked my dad into going to a show, and he's like, that kid, he's the real deal.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, and I love watching any band. Even if they're really bad, I just like watching bands, and they're a good one to watch. What are you looking at?
I doubt we see much Shinedown Breaking Benjamin next week.
I'm going to watch them, so it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Joe, you excited?
Absolutely.
Are you bringing earplugs?
Absolutely. No, man, I'm a rocker.
Okay. Well, hey, we're 5 minutes over, and we don't get paid overtime, so we're going to
start the music.
Start the music up, and we will be somewhere next week. Do we know where? We don't know where. But
it's hard on Joe to be there on time.
But what we do know is November 7th. November 7th is the Unite to Fight Colon Cancer is November 7th. So get on out there, support a great cause.
Yes, absolutely. I was letting you finish.
Well,
I thought we were off.
I didn't know where the heck you were going.
Dragging it out.
I don't either. It's Trainwreck. So we're gonna get out of here, and we'll be back somewhere next week. Joe's maybe somewhere. We don't know. So thanks for listening. Cheap Seats 96.3.
Good day.